This is Module 1, Lesson 3 homework. So I'll start off with number 1A, and what we were doing today is learning about exponents and how to look at a number and determine what an exponent for it could be, which tells us how we got there. So we know that when we have 1,000, we could multiply 10 3 times to get 1,000. So we could write this as 10 to the third, which would be the same as saying 10 times 10 times 10. The kids learn that the exponential form stands for that. Coincidentally, there's 3 zeros in 1,000, which means 10 to the third. We also have this the other way where they have 10 times 10, which would be 100, or 10 to the second. So it wants us to write it in exponential form. That's what the problem's looking for. When we go down to number 2, they've added some numbers in with our exponential form. So if your student still likes to use the place value chart to shift digits, I highly recommend doing so and finding out what the exponent stands for before they shift digits on their place value chart. So we know that 10 to the third, just like up in our first problem, is 1,000. So 4 times 1,000 would be 4,000. And they could do that by setting it up in their place value chart too and shifting the digits if they need to do so. There's also some division problems in this section. So we know that if we have 948 divided by 10 to the third, we know that we are taking 948 and dividing it by 1,000. So we would move our digits on the place value chart 3 times to the right, which would give us 0 and 948 thousandths. When we look down to number 3, we have patterns that we need to find. And so what we need to do here is see that we have 2 hundredths and then we have 2 tenths. So what happened between 2 hundredths and 2 tenths? Well, this 2 moved one place value over to the left, which means that every time we go down, it's going to be multiplied times 10. So 2 tenths times 10 would be 2. And we got to check to see if that works for here too. So 2 times 10 would be 20. 20 times 10 would be 200. 200 times 10 would be 2,000. And that's the pattern that we're looking for. And you do the same with all of those. Then when we get to the back, I'll just do this first word problem here. See if I can fit it in the camera. It says, after a lesson on exponents, Tia went home and said to her mom, I learned that 10 to the 4th power is the same as 40,000. She's made a mistake in her thinking. Use words, numbers, or a place value chart to help Tia correct her mistake. So we're going to look at this and just think about what we know already. We know that 10 to the 4th is really 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So when we do that, we go 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. Oops. 1,000 times 10 is 10,000. So if we did that there, we know that it's not 40,000. We know that her mistake was thinking that this 4 would change the first number in our new number here. So we could also use this in a place value chart. We could do the same thing here. We could say that, let's see, we could say that we know that 10 to the 4th power will not be 40,000 unless we multiplied 4 times 10 to the 4th. And then you could draw a place value chart. And we would have 4 here. Oops. Yeah, 4 here. And we could shift it. This is the ones, tens, hundreds, thousandths, 10 thousandths. And we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we would put our zeros in as place value holders, and we can see that now we have 40,000, and that would equal that, but it would not be that 10 to the fourth power equals 40,000, you'd have to multiply it by 4. And that is all I'm going to do for lesson 3. Hopefully that helps.